Shall I record to the cloud?
Yes.
Okay, I gave the record to the cloud. Let me just verify once more, just to make sure. Trust but verify. Yes.
All right. Super. We're looking forward to this. Suresh and I have, well, actually, Suresh has worked tirelessly to put the slides together, and I just changed some fonts. So yeah, it's really fun to actually work with somebody who actually knows all this stuff and took a lot of the burden off my shoulders getting these slides ready. We're looking forward to doing this today. This is exciting for us. This is the second webinar that we're doing with TMMi America. We're going to talk about the value of TMMi certification today. And we're really excited. We've got people here from Brazil. We've got people here from India. We've got people here, obviously, from the States. Heck, we've got somebody from South America here. We won't point at Gary and say, hey, what are you doing here? No, I'm kidding. So other than Brazil, right? So we've got people from a lot of different places. It's important that as we go through here, right, if you have questions, if you have doubts, let us know. We would love to have this conversation. That's part of what we want to do. We have enough content here to talk for a couple of hours. We will attempt not to do that to you, but let's look at the agenda, Suresh.
Yeah.
So today, obviously, we're doing a little bit of introductions. We'll talk through who we are, what we're here for. We'll, jump through all of these hoops. TMMi, what is the TMMi for those that don't know? Last time we did a session, people wanted to hear a little bit more about what it was. What are the benefits? Talk about a little bit about the TMMi Professional certification, the advantages of that. What are the qualifications? What is a TMMi certified provider? Sort of some career paths for people who are into the TMMi, and then we'll give you the ad about TMMi America and what our next webinars are. Obviously, you don't have to become a member of TMMi to come to these webinars, but we would like you to. We have some special benefits for members. When we hit that next slide. This is me. This is me with a tie on. I do that for weddings, funerals, and occasionally, just occasionally, for when I'm talking to executives. Generally, I'm in a t-shirt, and this one is from a conference that I did on testing in the Pacific Northwest. So if you're in Portland, Oregon, or anywhere near Portland, Oregon, there's some great conferences for the Pacific Northwest group. So if you want to know about them, look them up, or ping me and I'll tell you about them. I'm an agilist. I'm an author. I'm a podcaster. I really like to talk about things, as poor Suresh and Gary know. I speak, train, I'm a practitioner, and I'm a TMMi professional. So all of those things are true about me. Suresh, tell us about you.
Thank you very much, Tom. So welcome everyone to this webinar. So about me, I've got on 23 years experience in IT industry, particularly in software quality assurance and test engineering. And I'm also proud to say that I'm a founding member of TMMi Americas and the board of director, where I support marketing. Currently, I work in Northwestern Mutual as assistant director for test engineering. And being part of the TMMi, and also before that, I would like to say that I have conducted around 200 plus informal TMMi assessments for multiple agile teams predominantly. Some of them are the waterfall and the DevOps one. I have led the test maturity assessments or gap analysis for the waterfall and agile. And other than that, before assessment and others, I used to lead testing projects in global delivery model with an on-site offshore. And then setting up of governance is one of my key forte, and I have been doing that for more than 10 years overall now. This is a little bit about introduction. Now, before we get into the webinar, I'd like to have couple of mention couple of things. The first one is we would like this to be as interactive as possible. If you have questions, you can post it in the chat. Tom would be taking them, and then we will be answering on priority. So we do not want you to go without doubts. We don't want you to go with doubts. We want you to make sure you get full benefit of this webinar. With that, I'm going to start with TMMi Professional webinar. The first and foremost, many people were asked last time, hey, what is TMMi? And I would like to know more about TMMi and all. So, we thought, let's start with foundational ones, basic. TMMi stands for Test Maturity Model Integration. And just to say, this is one of the #1 model in test process improvement across the world. And it's an internationally recognized framework. It has come out in multiple languages. That's one of the other benefits of TMMi. And just to let you know, the I, it says that it's integrated with multiple software development. It's not a testing framework which has come outside the development. It is integrated with the software development, and that's the beauty of it. With this, you can either adapt to waterfall, agile, DevOps, and any of the development framework it comes, you can integrate this with the TMMi can be integrated.
So
Yes.
when you're thinking about this, and you said it's the #1 in the world,
Mm-hmm.
why do we need a model like this for test process improvement?
Good question, Tom. See, often they're not. Right now there are other models, right? You have got just CMMI, which has got more in the software development side of it, and we need something which has got the where you should be able to take a look and say, if I want to improve my testing process, where do I need to start? We do not have. We have got multiple things on software engineering or software development. There is nothing which gives you the foundational layer to start with. You got multiple how to do testing, but overall across this software engineering or testing uh, test development, you do not have that. That's the reason we need a development model, TMMi
Cool.
model.
Cool.
And one thing is just to say this was evolved after CMMI, and this is one of the detailed model for test process improvement, and also it looks as it's a being complemented to CMMI.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir. So now let's see what TMMi is. As I was speaking earlier, this is the international recognized framework for test process improvement, developed by TMMi Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization. And this has its roots with multiple things, ISTQB, IEEE, CMMI, and also they took the input from multiple testing surveys and incorporated best practices of the industries. Released in 2010, and as also said, like an IEEE identified as the world leading model for test process improvement by IEEE, complements the CMMI. And one good thing is this is available for free to download. You don't have to pay anything if you want to start using for test improvement processes. You can start taking it, refer, and then implement it as if there are any testing improvements. What we would like to provide is guidelines and how you can take a look at it and then start implementing it for your organization. Okay, any questions?
Nope. There's nothing that's come up.
Okay, TMMi framework. So just over the TMMi, right? The TMMi provides a very robust framework which can be used for test process improvement. And just like CMMI, it's got its multiple levels. So level 1, level 2, level 3, and which is managed, defined, measured, and optimized of levels. And that's one of the reason where TMMi comes into helpful is if you say my organization is at level 2, then everyone knows, okay, it's at managed, and these are the activities which that organization is doing. So that's one of the thing. And if you can say the same in United States or Europe or Asia, it's the same thing. That's the reason that this TMMi is universal and it helps us to speak in the same language. And one of the beauty thing is the internal structure of TMMi. It's got very rich in testing practices. In fact, I have been using it for multiple improvements, and every time it's new to me. Like anything I do as part of the assessment findings, I go back, refer to this. Okay, let's customize this template or this process to this recommendations part of it, and that's one of the beauty of it. And the other one is you will be able to apply the TMMi maturity criteria to improve the test processes. And we have seen very good benefits, practical benefits, what we have seen across the after implementation. So we'll be going to showing to you about multiple things in the future. And as I said earlier, this framework is available in multiple languages, English, French, Chinese, and Spanish. So you can localize it to your organization needs if any of you are using it. Any questions?
So Mike Ennis, who is also a TMMi board member, by the way, a TMMi America board member, wants to know, will we also get into how this integrates with Agile, or is that another webinar?
We had it about a detail last time, and it'll be in the coming webinar.
Okay, so we did a webinar earlier, and I'll throw that in the chat also with the link to that. With TMMi and Agile, are they friends and foes? So we have that out, and you can actually download and listen to that or watch that. And at the end, Suresh is going to take us through some of the upcoming webinars where we'll tackle that directly.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. And now the benefits, right? What are the benefits? So using TMMi, if someone asks you, and these are some of the generic, but this has been widely used and accepted, and I have seen realistic use of it. Using TMMi, you should be able to identify the testing risks, the testing strength, and implement the best practices. It's one of the beauty about this. And this is totally life cycle and domain independent. And often there is a myth which say, okay, TMMi is for waterfall, and I have been preaching and practicing about it. This is totally life cycle and domain independent. Traditional or agile and even DevOps, you can start implementing it, you can customize it. And the thing is, you will see in the next coming slides, using TMMi, we have seen a great benefit with improving the test effectiveness and efficiency, which is one of the sought out thing in the organization. Many of the industries, people say, hey, I need to see how we can improve the test efficiency and effectiveness. And the reason is you have seen many of the things. We have already seen the testing being outsourced, compartmentalized, and all those things. But through this TMMi, you should be able to start seeing the improvements in the effectiveness and efficiency. And also, this what TMMi does is it provides you an excellent reference for assessments. For any of the test process improvements, if you start, you need to do a small an assessment. So that's what this provides, and that's one of the reason why this certified TMMi professional is available for. It provides you the tools, information, and knowledge to utilize this. I'll be explaining to you in the coming slides. And what TMMi does is it provides you with the information on public governance, measurement, and also certifying the organization, what level they are in, what improvements they have done. So
Hi,
these are
Suresh,
the.
Piyush here. I have just one question.
Hey, Piyush.
Yeah. Regarding this, I have two questions. The first question is, I have two questions.
Sure.
Yeah. So the TMMI can be applied to service-based companies or the product-based companies? Which companies or organizations are beneficial on this?
No, just hold up for the next slide, and I think your answers will be there.
Okay.
I think
just
the
hold up
short
for
answer is both.
It's both, but I'd like to. It's both, but I'd like to show you with the practical example. Then that helps you. The answer is both, but just wait. Okay. Next question, Piyush.
The next question was quite simple. The framework would include which things? I mean, the rule sets or any. Not sure what framework would include.
Can you give me an example, maybe?
I mean, the framework would include what tangible things or what deliverables would the TMMi framework will include? Or
Yeah,
is
what
it consist of?
it's include the process and deliverables both.
I mean,
What are the
some
deliverables you can expect, and what process or practices you need to implement to have those
standard
improvements.
templates sort of.
Templates they have not provided in its like they say like you can use a test plan or a test closure, and with some of the guidance, okay, what sections you may need to use. Those are the things it provides. It does not come up with a standard template where you can download and start implementing it.
I think
Okay.
most of the consulting firms that support implementation of the TMMi and transfer of knowledge have their own approaches to that. And that's part of their services that they deliver. I think you can still find some of those online as they relate to the TMMi, but that's hit or miss.
So what I can do is, Piyush, now got your email, and I can show you after this if there is time. Like there are sections where it says what needs to be incorporated in test plan. It mentions that. Okay,
Yeah,
the
sure.
scope and all those things are there. Those are things it says, but it does not come with a standard ready-made template for you to use. You need to build based on the guidelines because it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
reference framework. Yes,
This
Suresh.
Ritu actually,
Yeah.
I am studying that since a couple of months. I
Mhm.
mean, so for the TMMi organ, whenever we get chance, because we are planning to switch on that side. So all that basically guidance is there. Like according to that, we have to standardize our testing process in order to achieve different level of certification. That's what I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, they give you the basic needs of the framework, right? Then you have to build on top of it to your needs.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so let's move to the next one. Yeah, so this has got the practical benefits, and for the based on the organization which have implemented TMMi, and what we have seen is a 40% savings made after changes made to ensure certification to TMMi level 3. Some of this are across the world, which we have taken from the TMMi Foundation, referred from TMMi Foundation. A financial bank company saved about 8% of their entire IT budget and improved development output by 12%. A very big insurance company has reported a savings of 440,000 on a £2 million project. Retail company, which saves at least 12% on every project after these improvements were deployed. And a test service company, Piyush, hope that answers, increased their test efficiency by 8%, and embedded software company improved their defect detection rate from 78% to 96% during a 4-year period, moving from maturity level 1 to 3. And these are some of the few benefits, and we have seen more other benefits also where organizations have seen a phenomenal improvement once they started implementing these TMMi recommendations, and then if they are moved to level 2 or level 3 and consistently, we have seen a very good improvements.
And here in the States, obviously, there are a number of organizations. You can see a lot of this here is from Clive Bates. But we have gaming companies here in the United States, people that you would recognize, running around like things like World of Warcraft and other sort of that kind of gaming using. We have insurance companies leveraging it. We have computer companies leveraging the TMMi. So it's actively being used here in the States. We see a little less in terms of the published benefits from that being shared.
Yeah, that's true. And then there are a couple of them. Dell is one organization which has been certified as TMM level 3. And you can see in our website, TMMi America, where a couple of organizations, and they have also seen every benefits. And we should be hearing those things probably in our coming webinars, where we are planning to show the practical benefits from hearing from the customer side, what they saw as the benefits. And one other thing I would like to say is through this, that what it has made is testing is now all the it's kind of becoming a profession and fully integrated to the integrated part of development process. And also, one important thing is the organization are moving from the defect detection to defect prevention. That's the very important thing with TMMi, like where you'll be able to see the practical benefits of it.
Hi, Suresh. This is Ajoy.
Hey, Joy.
Okay, so in your last slide, so what do you mean by when they say they increased test efficiency by 8%? What is that test efficiency? How does it define?
I can get you more information. It's the I do not have that full information. I can get you on that.
Okay.
Note down on that. So
yeah, just wanted to understand
sure.
test efficiency. Is it
yes, sure.
save in effort?
Yeah, that's why I don't want to give you wrong information.
Right. Okay.
Let me get you the exact information on that. What exactly was a test efficiency? You're Ajay, right? AJOY.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Any other question?
Not at this moment.
Thank you. Yeah. Now TMMi Professional, or what we call as a certified, if TMMi Professional is, we'll go into more details about it. So often they're not, right. The first and basic foundation thing, if you ought to call as a certified TMMi Professional, is what are the things? TMMi Professional qualification is aimed at anyone, right, who wants an understanding or who wants to be involved with TMMi using the TMMi model. What does this include? This includes people in roles such as test process improvers, test consultants, or assessors, business stakeholders, or even test managers, test leads, or any of the people who are doing testing, who got some practice of testing. They should be able to start benefiting with this TMMi Professional. And that's where its program is aimed at. And one thing is people, there are a couple of people who asked if it does. I'm hearing some echo. Okay. Yeah, sorry. And one thing what I heard was people were asking, hey, is this for any of the people who practice testing? I'd like to strongly mention it as yes. If you are in a testing organization, this helps to improve the maturity and as a career path for you in testing. TMMi is the next big thing from testing if you're practicing on testing or software quality assurance. Why? Because a couple of things I'd like to say with that is the TMMi Professional Certification, right? It helps you to do that assessment as well as test process improvement. Both the things will come with the certified TMMi Professional if you do that. And if you want to understand the TMMi model, right, this is the first best thing you can start with, and then you can it helps you to evolve, implement in your organization or take it in your personal career also. And the one of the important thing is if you are involved in TMMi, and this will be the thing, and you'll be talking the TMMi lingo with all the other people. So that's one of the big thing. And what does it do? How do you want? If you're a TMMi professional, the first thing is you need to pass a formal exam. You review the documents, whatever has been available, and then you need to pass that formal exam for it. And there is a simple it's not a simple exam, it's a 60-minute
What is
exam.
this simple exam thing? I mean, anything that you have to study that long for can't be that simple.
No. Okay. Thank you, Tom. I didn't. What I meant to say was it's not an essay writing or those kind of things. It's an objective 60-minute exam. Thank you for correcting that. But you need to study that. What I've done on an average, at least 3 to 4 weeks of a good amount of effort. If you put, you should be able to pass this exam, and you will be called as certified TMMi Professional.
So what was your journey like to become, I mean, we're both TMMi professionals. How did you get to become one? What was your journey to get there?
Thank you, Tom. So I started at TMMi like 2014 or 2015. I got more interest to it. I was practicing that, looking at the reference, the TMMi. At that time, we just had the one reference document I was reviewing. I was using reference to that. And I got certified in 2020, actually. I mean, it took me time. I was just using it. But, one thing what I felt is I need to be a certified TMMi professional because I was taking seriously at my career, looking at the assessor and test process improver. And I literally took 3 weeks of standard time to look at the document, understand the lingo. There are times you just take it for granted, right? Now, if you're working for the exam, and there are many things which opened my eyes. Okay, I did not even had looked at it like level 3, level 4, or level 5. What does those things? And the 3 to 4 weeks of my study helped me to become a certified TMMi professional. And it's helped me to further up my on the test process improver and other activities.
So so it has been a benefit to your career.
Oh, it's been a lot benefit, Tom, and I can see. Without that, there are times you just refer and start implementing at the needs. But now, I can say, like, even I'm a graduate, like just like you said, I'm a graduate. I can say I'm a graduate in that.
Cool. Cool.
Any questions?
So I have a question.
Yes,
so
Ajay.
this exam, I'll take the parallel to Microsoft certification and ISTQB certification, right? Now, Microsoft is one organization, and they might have a .NET certification, right, or an SQL Server certification. And Microsoft is the only organization that administers that exam through various exam providers like Pearson VE or other online proctors, right?
Yeah.
Whereas ISTQB, every country has a country national board, and they're based on the main ISTQB organization. They take the syllabus and then they conduct their own exams. So is TMMi more towards ISTQB pattern or the Microsoft pattern? Meaning, does the main TMMi organization administers this exam, or TMMi America has its own exam?
No,
we don't.
No, we don't.
You have
It's
a slide for this, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a slide. You can wait for that, but just to say, we do not have that. It's a centralized TMMi foundation that conducts it.
Well, they create it, right? But there are right now, I think there are 2, maybe 3
exam providers are there.
Right, exam providers.
Exam providers are there, but it's been mainly the TMMi foundation.
So the questions and exams are actually done by the main TMMi organization, and exam provider
through the exam providers. So hold it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll explain to that in detail. So just before that, right? I mean, just to show you the numbers, I'll be getting you the literal values for each of this, but this was just presented yesterday by Eric in the SQA. They had the testing presentation where he presented it, and this is the numbers what he showed, and we could see a 55% jump from 2018 to 2019 on number of certified TMMi professionals, and there was a drop he mentioned around 8% in 2020, but this is negligible compared to ISTQB, where he said ISTQB.
So what happened in 2020 that actually messed with the whole world?
Yeah, it's messed with the whole world. That's right. And with the COVID and others, the model was, Tom, they used to conduct the paper exam, or like you attend the conference, or they.
I've taken the paper exam before. Yes.
Oh, is it? So that stopped, and suddenly everyone wanted to scramble that, right?
Yeah.
And many were not able to invest that in. Its cost is also more, right?
I make this when I do the training class for this, I have this rule that at least every other time I take the test myself, because I generally allow people to take it or provide it as part of the package. So I take it with them, just because, very frankly, it helps me remember what's on it, and you can't remember, but it helps me to get a sense of it, so that when I'm telling stories about studying for it and knowing how hard it is, I'm remembering what it was like with recently, not just with some sort of past recency bias.
Yeah, that's the same thing. When I took the TMMi exam, it was like there are many things, deja vu kind of a thing.
So
And
let's talk about
yeah,
the exam.
let's talk about the exam. And just one thing is, and if you look at it, right, the number of certified TMMi professionals, it's across the country, across the world. I mean, a lot of different, you can see, and there's a potential for improvements. Now let's talk about the exam and why we need it, right? Just imagine a situation, right? You have been asked, okay, I want, or there are multiple scenarios where you have experience, right? The questions what they ask is, okay, what level am I? How is my testing better than the others? Or like, what test process improvements is recommended? You will be looking at some reference document or anything, right? Any of these ISTQB or any look documents, but it's not the standard one, and you cannot compare with the standard reference framework. When you say, hey, you are at you on a scale of 1 to 10, you are at 8, but you cannot quantify that with another company because that's what you have developed a scale. But with TMMi, this helps you to do that. If you say these are the practices, you take a look and you're at level 2, then we know what level 2 organization is. If you say at level 3, we know what level 3 organization is. And if someone says, hey, I want to move from level 2 to level 3, then you got a path defined, you got the guidance provided for test process improvements. And then if I say I want to compare where my organization stands against organization of the world in testing, TMMi is there. So TMMi, the framework, it helps you to the assessment as well as test process improvement and benchmarking. For that, the basic foundational thing is certified TMMi professional. If you become a certified TMMi professional, you should be able to clearly identify what the findings and the test maturity are and provide recommendation, because there is a set of guidelines provided. You're you're evaluating against it, and then providing, okay, these practices or these goals or anything, is it fully achieved, partially achieved, or where are they, or which level are they at? So that's what it helps. And then if you are speaking with some of your other counterparts in Australia or something, you know what, I did an assessment and then they are at level 3. You'll be able to easily understand what level 3 means. That's what is the beauty of a certified TMMi professional is. It helps.
So you can really stop bullets with your mind with the TMMi.
You can really stop the bullets of the clients and others who are asking.
Okay.
There will be 20 or 400 questions, right? You can easily take a look at it and then you understand what they are coming and then direct accordingly. So thanks for that, Tom. And what the advantages are, right? Advantage of certified TMMi professional. After that, we are going to go into how to take the exam and others. Just to say is, if you are a TMMi professional, right, you should be able to guide and advise an organization or even a project, right, when using TMMi for test process improvement. Often than not, it's not where when you join a company or that internally when your organization, you'll be able to see a lot of scope and potential for improvements. You can do a small gap analysis referring to TMMi and then provide the test process improvement. And then the other one is if you want to explain to your management or to business, right, you should be able to take this information and then provide to them. So that's one of the couple of main advantages with TMMi Professional. And for that is a TMMi Professional exam, right? TMMi Professional exam, it's a 1 hour exam, which is composed, it will be a 40 multiple choice questions. And if you pass 65%, is or 26 or more points, then it's called as pass. And in TMMi.org, there are 3 documents which you have to refer: TMMi reference model, TMMi in Agile World, and TAMR. These 3 documents is what are the basic things what you need to refer for the studying the exam.
The TAMR or TAMR, depending on how you pronounce it, is how one does assessments.
Yes.
So this is, the model, all the pieces, parts, the levels, those sorts of things. Agile in the TMMi in the Agile world, again, helps us think through how to approach this from an Agile perspective. But the TAMAR really is the rules and regs around an assessment and how that happens. Because none of this is just fly by the seat of your pants kind of an approach.
That's correct. Thanks, Tom. Yes, and that's one of the reasons why we say, I mean, many of the people write, hey, I'm referring to TMMi reference model. Are they trying to assess? Then, if you're certified TMMi professional, you can guide that, okay, you need to also take a look at the TAMR. It helps you for the framework or the assessments, what you need to do. So those are the
one quick question here, Suresh, like,
yes, sir.
I know this certification mean like, but thing is that how we will mean, is there any link and how we will put the certification? What's the time of the exam? Is there like we can take any time or we need to register ourselves?
Yeah, you need to register yourselves. I'll explain to you in the coming slide. There are three. I mean, we have got the service providers information provided to you. You need to make the payment, and all those things are there. Whatever you need for the basic foundations, we have got it. Because I struggled earlier, so we do not want others to struggle that. And there are questions people asking, like, hey, this it's taking time for me to go to TMMi reference model or agile and all. Like, instead, are there any training providers? What we have provided is in the USA, which are the training centers which conducts training. Okay, there are others maybe outside the Asia, but in the USA and so those companies what has been recognized are the ones QRadius and Cognizant are the two companies in United States, and both of them also train in India also. But just wanted, and these are all virtual right now. So these are the companies. If you, instead of that, you can approach any of these companies. They'll be able to provide their conduct virtual trainings. You can approach them and take a look at that. To your question, particularly, okay, there are the ISQI, GASKey, and Certify. These are the three companies where you should be able to register, make the payment, and then select the dates, or according to availability, you will be able to select the date and then go for it. I typically recommend 3 to 4 weeks of a lead time if you're taking the exam. And last year we had that. I think 2 to 3 weeks. In 2 weeks I could not get that. It's always a 3 weeks of lead time is there, and for you to also to refer and be ready with that. And so one thing is Certify is our TMMi America sponsor, and I just put their link here. You can take a look at that. And each of them have the different cost based on the country. And there were questions he asked. Okay, in United States is different compared to Europe, as well as if you're taking from India. So register as per your country, and then you should be able to make the payment and just.
Okay. Cool.
Cool. And this is the information will be ready hand for you. And then the next question was, hey, I'm a certified TMMi professional. So what, and is there any, just like ISTQB has got multiple things, foundational, and even we have, TMMi has got a couple of things. So there are two main streams once you're certified TMMi professional. Is you can move into the consultancy where you'll be able to do not as a little consultant, but if people ask you on test process improvement, you should be able to provide that. Or you can be an assessor where you should be able to do the assessments, formal or the informal TMMi assessments, and then and then take it from there. And I have done both based on it. And then even these two has its own different not certification, but accreditation, like just in the graphical way. Certified TMMi professional through consultancy, he can be a recognized accredited TMMi test process improver. And then through the assessment, you should be able to, there's a TMMi assessor lead assessor course, which gives you more information on how to conduct an assessment, what you need to refer and everything. And where you'll be able to get into the TMMi assessor or the TMMi lead assessor.
Yeah, that course is actually, I enjoyed that course a lot. You have to recognize that just because you understand the model understanding the rules of evidence, how to gather that, how to facilitate and come up with a rating. Those aren't necessarily straightforward things. So the assessor course, I highly recommend, even if you at some point step back from being an assessor. It's an excellent piece of information that can be leveraged, I think, as a process improver or anything else, because it gives you the fundamental basis to talk in that language and understand how someone would actually look at this and determine whether or not it was true or false without having to just take somebody's word for it.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Eh,
Suresh, I have a
yes, sir.
question.
Yes, Piyush.
Yeah. So are these certifications the advanced path after the foundation certificates?
Yeah, this is the advanced part after the foundation certificates.
Okay. So are these two different streams, parallel streams?
Yeah, two different parallel streams. One is like as an assessor, like if you, so there are people who do like, big consulting firms do the assessments, they take that. And there are some who will be doing the test process improvement, just on the improvements, the what you call advisory kind of a thing. That's what this helps. And these are two different streams by itself. It takes a path by itself.
Okay. The question is the certified professional means the certified professional would have choice to be an independent consultant or work with some organization that
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
typically does
yes,
this type of.
yes, yes.
So,
Okay.
Suresh, you work for an organization. You are part of corporate America, so to speak. Whereas I'm an itinerant, so to speak, consultant. I travel around. I do consulting. So, and we both have basically the same certification. We're using it that way, right? So, it can be either.
So are the organizations across the globe which work on both of these streams?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Organization. In fact, our, couple of them, Rex is there, and then Suresh Bose in our board of director, and Mark Summers, they are both.
Well, and Gary.
And Gary, yeah, they're both. Gary is there.
Yeah, and I just have one more query. Does the person who wants to go for these roles, does he need to have some expertise or knowledge about different types of testing, like different based on like automation, say functional, non-functional, or based on the layers of based on the application layers, or based on the architecture? So
Yeah, see, one thing is I always recommend that person should be at least minimum of 5 to 6 years of experience in testing. Because the activities, what you do is improve the testing activities or like do an assessment. That means you should understand what's, I mean, you should have that minimum set of experience in software testing. Then
okay.
only I recommend them to go to this. And in fact, if you look at, I just put a simplified one in the TMMi.org, there is a big document, another career path. It shows you should do an ISTQB foundation, ISTQB advanced level before you come to even the lead assessor. Or two ISTQB exams you need to complete for a test process improver. That means you should have that basic and advanced knowledge for the test process to be a test process improver assessor.
I can
Yeah.
also tell you that as a consultant, if you go in and are helping people with process improvement and you can't relate because you don't know what they're doing, people will see through you pretty quickly, and that won't be fun.
Yeah, so just one last query. Does the certifying person ahead have the liberty to work on these both specializations, like consultant as a consultant and as an assessor?
Yeah, it's both, and it depends on it, right? And there are many who are done. Even I'm doing the both. See,
Okay.
if for you to do a test process improver, the first thing is you need to do an assessment because you need to know
Okay.
where it stands, and then provide the recommendation. There are people as a consultant, right? I mean, you do the assessment, provide the recommendation, and move on. Or there are some where provide the recommendations, implement those recommendations, and then move on. So that's what this provides as an assessor, as a test process improver.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And many of us are doing both.
Suresh, one other question. Maybe it is a little early to ask that, but
Yes, Ritu, no problem.
I have also I just completed my ISTM International Software Test Manager Certification.
ASTQB?
Yeah, STQB.
Okay.
And I am also in Agile Professional Practice Test IC Agile certified on this. But thing is for TMMi, my question is, suppose I am going to do the certification by hook or crook anyway for my just initiate the process. But thing is that my question is how it will work in the suppose we initially form a small group and evaluate ourselves internally to find like which level we are. Okay, so for example, we saw like we are in level 1. Okay, so now to certify to level 2, the standardization, whatever it is mentioned in the website, if we will implement those in our process, and then after that, who will come and audit that and to certify 50 and like, okay, you are in level 2. That certification, who will does? This outside somebody, the professional, or there is a board member will come and audit our process. What is the process? Same like level 3, level 4, level 5.
Yes, very good question. Appreciate that.
Suresh, a similar question to that. So let's say I become a lead assessor, TMMi lead assessor by passing those exams, right? Now, let's say I found a client who wants to be accessed for TMMi level, just like Ritu asked. So will I be qualified enough to certify them that they are in level 3 or 4? Or do I have to go through with TMMi?
Hello? Okay.
If you're not speaking, can you mute? We're getting a lot of side noise. Go ahead, Suresh.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a good question. See, in the assessment, right, there are two assessments. One is informal and formal. What informal does is you as a lead assessor, or you can, or an assessor, you can do the assessment and say, based on what I have seen, your organization or your department is maybe is an informally at level 2, but you will not get an accreditation from TMMi that you're level 2. So for that, you need to do a formal assessment. That means first, before you do an assessment, let TMMi Foundation know, okay, we are doing an assessment for this organization, and there are a set of checklists what they provide. Okay, all these things you need to submit, and to do an assessment for the organization, a number of projects and those things you need to select. What are the important releases? What you need to assess. Once you select, and then you do all the assessments. That's part of the lead assessor and assessor course where it says. Then after all those things you complete, you're telling, okay, I did an assessment, and then you'll be showcasing to the TMMi Foundation. One of the representative is there. He'll be taking a look at your evidence, and then he says, whatever you've done and what evidences you're shown, I agree with you. This organization is at level 2 or level 3. Then only we are going to say the organization is officially at level 3. And I, for my sake, I've done around 200 informal assessments. I can tell that it is an indicative to level 2. It's an indicative to level 3, but it's not formally a level 3 organization or formally a level 3 company. The reason is it's not accredited by TMMi.
And I've done quite a number of informal assessments also, just because people want to use it to drive process improvement. They're not necessarily all just looking for that direct accreditation where you bring in an assessor and a lead assessor from the outside and do it. So there are a lot of different approaches to that.
Yeah.
But before you go for a formal accreditation, recommend one of you can do internally, make sure everything is there. Then you can have the external do the assessment, and then so that's what we do. That's what we recommend. Do that your internal first, and then go for it.
So the formal
assessment means, Suresh, then FedEx will get, for example, FT and our division will get a certified, I mean,
Yes. So, yeah.
legally like, okay, your organization in level 2, something like that. TMMi.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look
Okay.
at TMMi.org or TMMi Americas, it says organization which have been certified as level 2 or level 3.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, there's one more question, right? I had to.
Yeah, so I think it's already been answered. So
Okay.
if somebody has, some organization has to go through the formal accreditation, then it has to be done by the TMMi organization itself.
No, there are assessors, lead accredited assessors or lead assessors who can do it for you, but
Okay.
they will be talking with on behalf. They'll be talking to TMMi and then getting that. They'll be the
Right.
ones.
Right.
So,
Right.
so assessors and lead assessors have to get accredited by the TMMi Foundation. So they've gone through extra classes and taken some extra tests, gone and proved their experience, those sorts of things. Fill out a wonderful document every year and shovel a check over for $895 or some goofy number.
I see.
Generally, so there are people that do that, right? And
yeah, and that's one of the reasons, right? If you go to the assessor lead assessor course, you will be authorized or accredited to do assessments, formal assessments also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That answers my question.
Yes, sir. Any questions? And just so you had, and this yesterday I picked it from after Eric was mentioning, right? Suddenly we have seen a spike, and because this certified TMMi professionals has increased and the awareness of TMMi has increased, right? We have seen a sudden increase in spikes on TMMi certified organizations. So actually it was a 40% spike in 2020, and I just came to know in Q1 of 2021, they're seeing a growth of 200% more. The number of TMMi certified professionals are increasing. At the same time, they are giving awareness to the companies and everything, how it needs to be done. So that's an increase of certified organizations as of now. So before we move what TMMi America is and others, any questions do you have on certified TMMi professional?
Hey, Suresh, I was going through the Certify website you mentioned before.
Yes, please, Vajit. Yeah.
So it's an US side. I see some different language there. Is
Yeah,
that being hosted in different language or how?
Yeah, that was a Latin America one. I think Gary can. It is Latin America one, but they are also. I mean, many of us from the team USA took that exam. Went through the certify. It's got both, Gary. Latin, the Spanish as well as English.
I had it, I don't know where it is.
Okay, so that is safe and
it's safe.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
being
safe. Yeah,
scammed,
no,
right?
no.
Okay.
They are our approved sponsors also. So, no, you don't have to worry on that, Gary. But just send me the link. I just want to verify you have taken the went to the right links.
Yeah, I use the same certify.io, right? That's the one.
Yeah, the same one.
Okay.
It's a correct one. No issues. Or what we'll do is after this we are going to post that link, the link in our LinkedIn also, so that way you can verify it. Just to be double sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions? Oh, so Tom.
Go to the next slide.
Over
Okay,
to you.
what is TMMi America? So, TMMi, and if you go back in time, when I first got involved in the TMMi, I went to London to take the class. It was a fun place to go, right? And I got to learn how to eat Scotch eggs and all that good stuff. But I got to go over there and take the test and the class. The whole TMMi has grown up from there. There are any number now of individual country and groups of countries that have banded together to have chapters within the overall foundation. The TMMi America is the chapter representing the foundation here in the United States. There are others. There's TMMi Mexico, TMMi Canada is just spinning up. So we're a nonprofit organization here to help get people started, get them interested, support getting them interested, getting them involved in participating with, getting the TMMi as part of how we do work, right? So you can read our mission statement. I'm not going to read it to you, but it really is, our goal is to help make this important for how work is done here in the States. And obviously we're going to try to influence our friends down in Sao Paulo, in other places in the world, India. But our goal really is to create membership and create support here in the States. There are other organizations. We support all of our fellow chapters, right? So TMMi North America formed relatively recently. You've got a number of the board members who are also the founders at this point of TMMi America. I think I was asking Mike Ennis, who's on the call, and by the way, can answer give the Clive Bates answer. So Mike, why don't you turn your microphone on and tell us about efficiency before we go much further?
Sure, Tom. Thanks, guys. Pleasure to be joining the webinar today. There was a question, I believe that was from Clive earlier, in terms of some of the efficiencies gained, and I think the number thrown out was maybe around 8%.
Yes.
And it's important that we definitely hit this question. That 8%, I believe, came from a variety of efficiencies that were identified and implemented. Part of that came from converting a huge number of manual testing efforts into an automated test suite, which gained definitely some reduced cycle time as well as reduced hours of testing. So that's part of where that 8% came from. Another percentage of that 8% was the reduction in production defects, which had a direct correlation to a reduction in the number of level 1 and level 2 customer support calls, which have a dollar figure to it. It's important not to understand this. It was a great question because you got to understand the cost of poor quality. If you aren't measuring the cost of the quality issues that you've got today, it's hard to get a good measure around some of these efficiencies. And I believe the last percentage of that came from, for this particular client, they had a huge onshore presence. So part of it was shifting some of the low-hanging fruit, perhaps around some of their regression testing or some of their maintenance work, to an offshore team. But you've got to have a good understanding of your organization, how much things are costing, in order for you to really be able to measure the effectiveness of some of the improvements that could come out of a TMMi assessment. So I wanted to make sure that we answered that question fully. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you. Why don't we go to the next slide, and so we can wrap up on the hour?
Yeah.
We're right. Oh no, one more slide. Go one more back. Go one more back, and then
this one.
So we do want you to become a member. We've got two kinds of membership. There's a basic free membership, valid for a year, then you got to re-up. You give us your email address, we send you our newsletter. We don't do much else in terms of spamming you. So we're not asking so we can spam you. There's a premier membership, again, valid for a year, access to a newsletter. We're putting together a community to actually support people. We'll have some special webinars and lean coffees for members. And if you're a member, premier member for 2 years, you can run for the chapter board. So thank you for being here. And I know we're just a minute over, but it has been fantastic. Any last comments, Suresh, before we go?
I just want to see the previous slide. I think I missed that.
No,
previous
this
slide.
one is
Yeah, this one.
yeah, this is like so far in United States, right? We have got from
But those
after
were
we
the
started,
ones that were added last year.
last year. This was
Yeah.
the one after we started. We have got it's an increase. Just want to give the numbers from United States.
So those were ads for the
These
year.
were the ads. Like it's not the cumulative. These were the additional what we did in 2020. We have got lead assessors, assessor, test process improver, and 10 certified professionals.
In addition to the
In
ones that
addition
were
to
there
what we
before.
have currently, yes.
Yeah. So super. Thank you
yeah.
very much. Obviously, if there are more questions, here's our website, by the way, TMMi America. You can contact us directly. It's really, we'd like to see you as a premier member. If you don't want to do that, we'd still love to see you as a basic member. Join us, continue to send us questions. We love to interact with everyone. That's part of our goal, right? To make this important. To do that, we have to, interact and help people gain and use the TMMi as a mechanism to become better at delivery.
Yes.
So until the next webinar, thank you very much. And for those of you who are Premier members, you got a special URL earlier in the mail. Please reach out and click that, and I will open that up and we'll have a roundtable. One of those benefits of being a Premier member. All right.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Tom. Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.